Welcome back. You're with us on the newsroom. Are South Indian states being penalized by the central government for doing well over the years, and are North Indian states being rewarded for performing poorly? First it was Siddaramaiah, then Stalin. Now Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has also come out and hit out at the Modi government, saying that the terms of reference for the allocation of funds set by the 15th Finance Commission are skewed against the South Indian states, who generate more revenue in comparison with what they get back. The Modi government is on the defensive, saying these are only the draft terms of reference, that the final terms of reference haven't been agreed. But this is a politically volatile issue which is quickly turning into a North versus South divide. Here's the story.
You heard of the big North-South divide, and now it has exploded into the open. The flaming issue is unignorable, that the South is getting a raw deal and being slowed down by the rest of the country. Days after Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah alleged discrimination against southern states by the centre, the Modi government has gone into damage control mode. BJP General Secretary Ram Madhav rushed to meet Finance Commission Chairman N.K. Singh to find a fix. They discussed devolution of central taxes for South Indian states. Sources say that Madhav asked the Finance Commission Chairman for fair treatment of states with successful population policies. The controversy is over whether southern states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala will get a smaller share of tax revenue only because their population has decreased, an accomplishment for which the states claim they should be rewarded, not penalized. BJP's top strategist is believed to have suggested that states with better population policy must not lose share of central taxes. The Finance Commission chief is reported to have told Ram Madhav that guidelines of the 15th Finance Commission include incentive for states with successful population policy.
कितना नॉर्थ इंडिया को मिल गया है, कितना साउथ को मिला है, ये हम जनता नहीं देख रही है क्या कि वो बाला फूस रहा है. हम नॉर्थ या साउथ नहीं देखते, हम देश देखते हैं.
With an eye on the Karnataka polls and the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, BJP is preparing for the big fight. Earlier this month, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah had written an elaborate Facebook post alleging discrimination. He has claimed that since South states paid more tax, they had been subsidizing the North and not getting anything in return themselves. Soon after Siddaramaiah's post, Kerala too had joined the North-South divide chorus, calling for a meeting of finance ministers of all South Indian states. The South Indian states' concerns are not unfounded. For every rupee that the states give to the centre, the southern states get back significantly less than the ones in the north. Karnataka gets 47 paise, Kerala 25, and Tamil Nadu gets 40 paise for every rupee that the state gives to the centre.
I think tentatively all southern states have warmed towards the idea, but I'm certain some other minister would represent Karnataka. We are very hopeful about that.
As per 1971 census, the funds shall be devolved. Don't penalize those states which strictly follow the central government schemes and instructions for the national interest.
With the TDP and YSR Congress already upping the ante against the Modi government over Andhra's special status, this new galvanizing of the South against the North could mean more political trouble for the government. Caught between the North-South divide, can Modi government come out of it unscathed? With Rahul Srivastava in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
First it was Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, then DMK leader Stalin, and now Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan alleging that South Indian states are being given a raw deal, that the good work being done by the South Indian states is being held against them, and that funds are being diverted to the north at the expense of the south. A very serious, politically loaded charge being leveled against the BJP government at the centre. Joining us on the Newsroom Showdown this evening, representing the BJP, Narendra, Taneja squaring off against him, Pawan Khera of the Congress, M.B. Rajesh, who's a member of Parliament of the CPIM, and A. Sarvanan of the DMK. I want to go across to Narendra Taneja first, because the 15th Finance Commission changes the terms of reference used for the allocation of funds from the 1971 census to the 2011 census. What's happened in the middle is that the South Indian states have more or less stabilized their population, whereas in the north, in states like UP, Bihar, population growing much faster. As a result, South Indian states feel they contribute more to the center, but they get lesser. Now we are seeing a union of South Indian states ganging up against the north, ganging up against the Modi government. This can't be good news for you. This is politically very volatile, Mr. Taneja.
Well, but what I don't understand is that guidelines are still being finalized. The Finance Commission is yet to travel to the south for consultations, and and all that, which is going to take some time before the guidelines are actually finalized. It will be at least the end of next year, 2019. So this is just, sheer politics. There's nothing else. There is no meat, there is no concrete things in that. If they just want to, either they don't understand, or they understand, they still think it's election season now. In Karnataka, it's election season, for the next general elections and all that. So they just want to basically create something, a new narrative, and use that as a kind of South versus North, knowing very well that BJP is very strong in the North, but they keep forgetting BJP is also now very strong in the South. If that is really the issue, they think it's genuine issue, BJP is with the people of the South. BJP is with all the states of the South. BJP is with every Indian, including people in the South. So we don't understand where the issue. Finance Commission is, yet to visit the South. They haven't even visited, and the guidelines will be finalized only by the end of next year. As far as terms of reference is concerned, if you got new data available,
terms of reference. Okay, Narendra Taneja, you've laid the grounds for this debate. This is not the final terms of reference. That is still some distance away. This is just a working draft. The government accusing the opposition of jumping the gun and doing politics in election season. Pawan Khera.
Rahul, so does this government expect everybody to keep quiet until the point when the draft is finalized? So this is the stage where whoever has to object to whatever terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission must do so now. And I don't understand Mr. Taneja saying all the South Indian states are playing politics. They don't belong to the same party. They are different parties. Some of them are with you also. Some of them are on their own. You can't just see politics in everything. After all, India is a union of states that came together on the precondition that they'll not sacrifice their linguistic identity or cultural identity. But you can't also allow them to feel that they are being punished for good performance, for better performance. I understand regional imbalances are there. They need to be handled. They need to be balanced, but not at the expense of those who perform. I think their grievance is very genuine, and we need to address it without seeing politics or subnationalist tendencies in them.
M.B. Rajesh, the fact is, and I have some data that I just want to read out to you, because usually it was so far to the census of 1971 that was used as the basis. The moment you change that to the 2011 census, then the whole equation gets skewed. For example, for every rupee of tax contributed by Uttar Pradesh, it receives 1.79 back from the center. In the case of a state like Karnataka, for every rupee it contributes, it gets 47 paise back. I can argue, M.B. Rajesh, that only if you pump more money into states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar will these states develop further. This imbalance, if the richer states keep getting more money and the poorer states keep getting lesser money, we'll never be able to fix it. The only way to be able to fix this problem nationally is if at this time you put more resources into the less developed states. What's wrong with this logic?
First of all, let me make it clear that we don't want to project this issue as an issue between North and South.
It's not that it's between north and south, but the issue is that certain states and certain section of people are being constantly targeted for not being completely subscribing to a certain politics and ideology. So that is why we are opposing these tendencies. And number two, in this particular case of allocation of tax revenues, the criteria is being changed from 1971 census to 2011 census. So what happens? Then these states, including Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, these states, they will suffer huge losses simply because they have aggressively pursued the policies, especially the policies of population control. And for their achievement, how can they be punished? My point is not that you should not give sufficient resources to North Indian states or any other states. The issue is that that should not be at the expense of states who have performed well. So that is the issue. And if you go by the data, then it shows that had Kerala kept pace with the rest of India, they would have added 10 million people in the last 30 years. 10 million people in the last 30 years. And these four states, the Bimaru states, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, they have added 50 million people in the last 30 years. So we should take into account this factor. We are not against giving sufficient allocation of resources to any state, including North Indian state, but that should not be at the expense of other states, including Kerala.
Taneja, now you can argue that the opposition is doing politics, but this has the makings of a political volcano for the BJP. All the South Indian states, and we've seen leaders like Stalin do this already, saying it's the imperialist North that's giving us a bad deal, we are being punished for poor performance, and the laggards in the North are being rewarded. Now this is the worst narrative that can spread from the BJP's perspective at a time when Messrs. Modi and Shah are trying to expand the BJP's reach in the South. The BJP then again perceived as a North Indian Hindi belt party.
And you see, Rahul, if their concerns are genuine and true, BJP is with them. BJP is with Tamil Nadu, BJP with Karnataka, BJP with Kerala, BJP with every single state. We are with them on the issue if the concerns are genuine and if they think there is any injustice, if there is any iota of truth in it. You see, the states which have actually delivered a progressive population policy, not only this that they will get complete justice, they will actually be even rewarded for doing this and setting examples and being role models for other states. That said, at the same time,
like high
we have
rhetoric,
to look things more
square this,
holistically.
Narendra, Taneja, with what the 15th Finance Commission has done so far. Now the opposition leaders are making a hullabaloo, from Siddaramaiah to Pinari Vijayan to Thomas Isaac to people like Stalin. So therefore the government and the 15th Finance Commission are now on the back foot. But this is originally what they intended to do. You originally intended to take money from the South and give it to the North because of the fact that the base is being shifted from 1971 to the 2011 census. That's the way it was planned originally. Now you may do a volte-face and a U-turn, but this was the original plan.
Rahul, Rahul. No, Rahul, no, not at all. In fact, that's their interpretation, their apprehension, but that's not how it works. You see, look at, for instance, you have to look at the history at the same time. In the 50s and early 60s, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar were among the most advanced states in terms of their GDP. State GDP was higher than most of the states in the South. But that time they never raised this issue, they never raised this question when more public sector undertakings were set up in the southern part of the country than Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, they never raised the issue. Even within Uttar Pradesh, Western UP is doing better than Eastern UP. In Haryana, Gurugram alone contributes to 70% of revenues collected by the state of Haryana. Do we start going by these parameters? Then we are opening a Pandora box. But that's not how it functions. As I said, if they think there is any discrimination, any injustice due to the wrong interpretation or wrong writing of the terms of reference or the guidelines, BJP is with them. BJP is with all these states. But just you cannot really convert that, interpret it in your own way. Don't listen to the government, don't listen to the Finance Commission chairman.
Sarvanan of the DMK, Narendra Taneja saying you aren't giving the government an adequate opportunity to address these concerns? You know, Stalin talking about a Dravida Nadu, he's hitting out at the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu saying you're too cozy with the BJP government at the centre. The 15th Finance Commission and the Modi government saying don't turn this into a politically volatile issue, at least wait for the final terms of reference to come out. Is that not a justifiable demand and a reasonable expectation?
Yeah, Rahul, going by the track record of this government and what they are coming out and saying, they are being very defensive and they are saying this is political. We have raised a reasonable doubt and we have said that this is going to affect us. This is very, very reasonable. Instead of trying to assuage us and instead of trying to tell us the truth and telling us this will be rectified, this will be looked into, they are on the defensive and they say we are politicizing it. We are not politicizing. We are merely speaking about the rights of the state. As pointed out by everybody here, we are a union of states. We want our rights, and when the BJP has come into power, they are pandering to Hindi majoritarianism.
No,
and
once again, you know, Saravanan, politically this sounds very explosive, and of course it's good politics in Tamil Nadu, but look at the larger national picture. How will the backward states of India, states like Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, and for a moment don't look at which party is governing over there, how will these states develop unless you pump in extra funds? So as a principle, states that are already doing well have to at some level ensure that enough money is made available to the states that are not doing so well. This is like a very fundamental expectation and not an unreasonable thing to suggest.
Yes, Rahul, it is not unreasonable, but there is a limit, right? So by taking away the money from us, which we are entitled to, what happens is tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow or the day after that, we will also become like Bihar because of these policies by the central government.
I'm not fully convinced that this is a good explanation, because how does income tax work in this country? You take from the rich, you give to the poor. Naturally, you take from states that are generating more revenue and you give it to states which are not doing so well so that they can start doing better as well. That's the basic of any taxation. It's politically powerful what you're saying, but you have to look at the national picture, and you've ruled this country for so long, Pawan.
Yeah. Rahul, I'll take your example of income tax. No, most of us complain. ये टैक्स हम देते हैं, सड़कें हमारी ठीक नहीं है. So if we are satisfied with what we are getting out of every penny that we pay as tax, we will not complain about our taxes being used for those who are underdeveloped or not prosperous enough. Now this condescending attitude which we saw in Bihar election when Mr. Modi said, कितना करोड़ चाहिए, 1 लाख करोड़, 2 lakh, and this also reflects in Mr. Taneja soon, unfortunately. I'm sorry, it's very condescending. We are all, after all, yes, a union of states. We are now a federation of states, not just a union of states.
That instead of making it seem... Okay, let Pawan complete.
There is cumulative frustration.
Okay, acute condescension leading to cumulative frustration, the states feeling that the centre is coming down on them unfairly.
Impose your language.
No, the question is that, Rahul, we have to go by facts. And if you look at the facts, for instance, that if you have some differences of opinion in terms of reference, when did they meet with the chairman of the Finance Commission? When they should have just sit, in democracy, in a theater structure like this, if you have some concern, a finance minister come to Delhi or call the chairman of the Finance Commission or the government people there and discuss it. And moreover, the terms of reference, the guidelines have yet to be firmed up. I mean, they have not even visited the South. The way it function is, over the next 1.5 years, they're going to have consultations across the country. So when the Finance Commission people visit, sit down with them and have this thing. But instead of doing this, you have decided...
From what you're hearing from Narendra, Taneja and from the Finance Ministry, are you now assured that on the back of your Finance Minister, your Chief Minister, Stalin, Siddaramaiah making such a big noise about it, that the red flag has been raised in time and that the balance will be restored at least to some extent? Mr. Rajesh.
See, on the one hand, BJP spokesperson says that we are with the people of South, we won't allow any injustice to be done. And on the other hand, he says that had other states, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, had raised such an issue earlier. So this is sufficient to expose his hypocrisy. So what are their real intentions are very clear. And number two, your argument that is it not sense by taking more revenue from southern states and giving to northern states, it doesn't make sense. So your argument is flawed because this will affect the southern states to maintain their achievements and gains they have already made, and this will only lead to a reversal of their achievements in the field of social development, education, health, etc. Thirdly, number three, so you were making parallels between income tax collection and this change in the criteria of this finance commission's allocations. See, we are not against generating more resources. What they should do, they should make more. They should generate more resources and make more provisions for these northern states or whichever states are lagging behind, but not at the expense of cutting down.
Okay, I think all our guests have spoken. Fair enough. I think the southern states feel naturally aggrieved that money that they are generating is being taken away from them, not being sent back to them, instead being sent to the states in the north. Politically, this is a very explosive issue. So the 15th Finance Commission has to make amends. There can be no doubt about it. What the right and appropriate formula will be is something that we still wait to see. In any case, we're heading election season, so naturally if it's a politically volatile issue, they will use it against the Modi government. The challenge, of course, now for the 15th Finance Commission, led by N.K. Singh, is to see how can they try and ensure that some kind of acceptable parity is restored. Pawan Khera, MP Rajesh, Sarvanan and Narendra Taneja for joining me on the Newsroom Showdown tonight. Thank you very much. We're splitting into a break. We'll have more for you when we come back on the other side. Stay with us.